Hello, it's another day of NoFap, and I'm feeling a bit fucked up. I probably look fucked up to you too. I just played a few hours of badminton. I was on 4 hours of sleep, and I auditioned at Dragon's Den this morning. It was pretty fucking weird. What was pretty fucking weird? I was pretty fucking weird. So today marked something different. I started doing some like spontaneous behavior, and it's kind of foreign to me because I've never really done it before. So why do you give a shit? Like, well, if you're watching this right now, why the fuck do you care what I did? Perhaps you might undergo the same kind of phase. There's a few articles out there that talk about what the whole pickup kind of community and being immersed in it does to normally so-called beta males, or average frustrated chumps, AFC for short. If you're watching this and you're quite into pickup, then I can tell you I've sort of seen this stuff, but I've never really practiced it well. I support simple pickup and RSD the most. I think that one could basically learn all the aspects of game that he really needs just from simple pickup, and especially Project Go. Well, actually all Project Go, because most of simple pickup, aside from simple tips, is just comedy, because that's how they get their money. YouTube, right? YouTube. So why do you give a shit? So a lot of people, from a psychological, like scientific sort of perspective, so a lot of men go from codependent behavior, which I'm guessing means like really needy and all that, to very like relying on other people for identity, to become relying on becoming narcissistic, so like very internally identity. If that doesn't make sense, it's probably, I think it sort of goes along with the whole validation sort of thing. You go from external to too much internal. So I kind of exhibited this today. I was on 4 hours of sleep. I drank some caffeine, and I think I started acting like a little bit of a douchebag. Like, in the morning, I was just kind of like talking loud, and actually, the way I acted was probably very normal compared to like other people here. But I've never really done this before. I've never acted out of my own will. I always acted based on what other people would think. So, I was in the audition room for Dragon's Den, and then I just sort of randomly chatted up people. Like, I was feeling a bit apprehensive at first. Like, I would look at a random person and go like, hey, this guy is like, insert race here. And I'd have this snap judgment that, like, I'm kind of scared. Like, I don't know how to communicate with them. Or like maybe they're nervous and they don't want to talk to me, so I didn't talk to them. But eventually I gathered up the balls. It didn't take that long. It took like a minute. I didn't really think that much about it, just like talked. And then I talked to one person, then to another. The second person I talked to was kind of intimidating. They were like a Indian? No, not Indian. Some kind of Indian. Middle East, some kind of Middle Eastern person. They were a husband and a wife and their son, and they looked pretty boss, and I was intimidated. But then it clicked once I started talking to them. Like, I started complimenting like how their son will do well and all that. They love hearing that shit. So I'm not especially trying to be manipulative here. I'm just saying that it feels really good, like knowing the processes behind what you're doing and having a bit of conscious competence mixed in with unconscious. So it's good. But back to douchey behavior. Unfortunately, I did try to pick up this chick. I wanted to pick up a chick every day, but I tried to. I didn't try. Me and my project partner, we approached this cashier girl at A&W. So that's not really approach, because it's really easy to approach those. I mean, they're stuck behind a counter, right? But then after that, an hour or so later, I'm like, fuck, she was cute, I wanted to talk to her. So I went in A&W again, looked for her, and then I asked like this, she wasn't there. Then there was other like girl working at the counter, and I asked like, was there a girl here? Like, a girl coworker. And then she was like, yeah. And then like, at that moment I pushed out. I'm like, never mind. Like, why would you ask if someone is at work? And they say yes, she was at work. But then I pushed out. And then I kind of weirded her out. And afterwards, I went to play badminton, and then I called up one of the girls that I sort of took the number of. I wasn't really interested. It's just that it was like practice, right? I just wanted to practice my social abilities with women. And then I shouldn't be feeling this way, but she said her boyfriend, like she mentioned her boyfriend, and I was just like, oh. It's like the second girl out of the 3 that I've like set up plans with this week that have taken. So then this is my first important point, that I've realized that so many goddamn girls that you might be interested in, so many of them might already have boyfriends. And if you have like a secret crush on them, or you think they're too pretty and can't approach them, you're honestly just wasting your fucking time. Like, seriously, you're wasting your fucking time. Like, you might stagnate for like a whole week trying to talk to them, you pedestal them and all that shit, like this pretty girl in your class, and then one day you see her with a boyfriend, and you're like, fuck, I wasted my time. I wasted all my fucking time. Like 10 girls that, okay, let's just say you're a complete fucking newbie and you don't know anything about game. You have targeted 10 pretty girls per year on average. You approach maybe one of them. If you're lucky, like you get put in a class group project with them or something. One of them, and then turns out she has a boyfriend. So 0 out of 10. Let's just say you're intermediate, you approach women now. You find it easy to do warm approaches, like me. I'm not bragging here, by the way. I think it's easy to do warm approaches. You just walk up to them with a harmless question like, how long have you been doing this for? I've done it a few times and it doesn't nerve me at all much. Maybe except a few steps I take when I walk over to them. But maybe I approach, like 7 out of these 10. And then I get the numbers of like 5 out of the 7. And then turns out like 4 of them have girlfriends. So you see, you have like you're still only working at like a 10% success rate. And I'm not kidding. Girls that you find attractive probably have boyfriends. Or you can frame it another douchey way and think that, and you know that, and you believe in the fact that all girls will cheat given the right guy. That's right, all girls will cheat given the right guy. And if you're one of those girls that won't cheat, well, good for you. But I hope you can stick to it. So girl biology, crudely speaking, I think it's supposed to respond to the best provider and select like a best top male, right? I'm not necessarily like alpha or big or anything, or like macho. I'm just saying, she'll respond to certain characteristics. So don't buy into that whole lovey-dovey like romance the notebook bullshit. I don't think it's true. You shouldn't either, because I said so. Never mind. But you can frame a girl having a boyfriend as, hey, it's like your idea, your entrepreneur idea, and then they already exist. You guess what that means? That there's a market, that the girl is a valid, selectable girl. Like, she's not fucked up, she doesn't have issues. You can frame it that way. Like, I welcome competition, but I don't endorse. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe sometimes, like a lot of the times, you can frame it as this way as well. Like, oh, she has a boyfriend, but she might be in a really bad state of a relationship. Or most guys are pretty needy. It's just that I don't know how these guys landed these girlfriends. I mean, I guess persistence works somehow. 99.9% of men did not know game before game existed. Like, they might be unconsciously doing it, but most guys are not alpha, right? Only like 20% get 80% of the girls. So how do the other 80% of the weak beta males get the girls, right? They just talk to them, and then they persisted because like they overcame the balls a little bit. But keep in mind, they're not alpha. They don't do polarizing behavior. They don't have a set model method. They don't have a processes. They're not very intellectual. Like, they might be intellectual, but they probably can't execute either. So there's a lot of factors. Like, a lot of guys may not be able to get girls in the past, and present as well. Like, most guys still, I notice, like, my stereotype of a lot of guys these days are that, like, they get around in a circle and they circle jerk about how to get girls, and they discuss about how to get that one girl, which is already wrong already, right? when you pedestal someone, a girl, they look down on you. Obviously, you put them up so they look down on you. Seriously, going after one girl is not the right mentality, because you're already thinking that, oh, that girl is the right one. She's perfect for me. She expresses all these ideal traits. And you fall in love with those ideal traits. It's impossible to really fall in love with someone unless you spend a lot of time with them and make emotional connections. And I think falling in love is simply a similar wiring of the brain, because you both do same activities. It's like having a really good friend, like a guy of the same sex, except now it's a girl, and then you want to sort of bang her. So it's already a wrong kind of mentality. And since most guys don't really read up this shit, they think, oh, it's so manipulative. Oh, it's like being a player. I don't want to be a player. I don't want to be like those guys that are like randomly picking up chicks and approaching women. That's so embarrassing. Like, why would you do that? Normal people don't do that. Normal people don't need to approach women. Well, what the fuck do you want to do? Wait for your friends to introduce one to you? You want a girl to ring your doorbell? Ain't gonna happen, buddy. I have many friends that exhibit these kind of tendencies. I'm not judging them, and I don't have the right. I certainly do not have the right to express my theories on them as well. But when I hear them say, I'll talk about this one girl that they think is perfect for them, I just shake my head. It's kind of inefficient, to say the least. So you might be noticing that I'm actually pretty sort of fluent in my speech right now. Like, I don't have any hiccups and all that. I don't that much, even if I keep talking. Well, first of all, I think that anyways, I think in the last few days I kind of improved my verbal abilities. Like, it's kind of like Simple Pickup released a really good podcast called God Mode, and it's just another way of saying that kind of state you feel when you've talked to a few people, and then you start feeling socially uninhibited. You can strike up conversation, and you don't have those like shitty thoughts. Like, they just don't exist anymore. Those negative thoughts, those limiting thoughts, like, oh, he might not respond well to me. That sort of shit. You don't have that anymore. And I had a little bit of that God mode going on the last few days. I was just it's like normally I see a mountain in front of me when I want to become social, but now I see a hill, and I can just run past it. It might take a lot of work, and it's kind of daunting, but I just go. I just run it up. And if you didn't know me, you're feeling like, oh, dude, you talk to people. Dude, how hard is it to talk to people? Well, in my own world, in my own life, this has been a big jump for me, and I've seriously thanked NoFap or its placebo effect for this. And I also got only 4 hours of sleep, and I'm talking out of my ass. Like, literally half the time I'm talking out of my ass. So rounding back to the topic, I'm gonna end this soon. So what did I say today? Sunday is a good reset time, because I just feel like sometimes I keep talking trash to people, and I really need to recollect and really contemplate and introspect my own behavior, because sometimes I might be doing something wrong. But at the same time, it's better than what I used to do. I just used to read theory every day and not go out. But now maybe I read theory like once a week, and then I don't test it. I just put myself out there, and if I act in a certain way that like works and I feel good about it, usually I remember that theory that I read. Like, say, hold eye contact and the girl will break into a smile because how confident you are, or be nonchalant and just speak confidently and say something unfunny and the girl will still laugh because you're so confident. That clicked for me. One of the big points that really clicked for me this week is to not anticipate. We often anticipate, and it's important that you shut your brain off when you want to anticipate something. Let's just say you have an interview, or you have something, like, you're just nervous. You're kind of like anticipating what the conversations will be like, what to talk about. I've had, like, by the second meeting with an acquaintance this week that I was kind of nervous about, it was gone. Like, I just went there. I didn't have any like premonitions of anything bad happening. I just like went up there. I just talked for the moment. Like, it was great. It's all about being present, and that was really big for me. And it worked pretty well for me this week. I mean, it allowed me to just talk to people. Like, I would stop thinking like in a dysfunctional manner, like they call it time dysfunction. It's like you think, maybe you don't think 10 years in the future, but you think 5 minutes in the future or 5 minutes in the past when you talk like conversation, and it's really bad for you. It's really fucking bad for you. It just forces, you're just asking to have negativity reinforced on your asshole, and yeah, douchey behavior, which is why I need to like kind of introspect. I also find it very, very interesting that certain people, when they only see my alpha side, not alpha side, asshole douche side, they're very like, they don't talk at all when they look, and they avoid eye contact with me. And it's really fucking funny. Like, I used to be that guy, but hey, like pretend like you're one of those really kind of introverted guys that think a lot and have a lot of judgments about people, and usually you don't really speak up. You know who you are, right? You know who you are. You don't speak up. You wait for people to talk to you, and once in a while, when people talk to you a lot, you might, and people appreciate you and give you attention, you might start talking. You're the kind of guy that never gets a girl that he wants, even though you're probably not bad. Like, you have knowledge, and maybe you don't look that bad, and you wonder why girls don't come to you. Well, it's because yeah. Anyways. That used to be me. That was exactly me. 2 weeks ago, and still in some days actually. And you see a guy like me, not self-aggrandizing again here, but try not to. And you think this guy's a fucking douchebag. Like, fuck him, fucking honger. Why does he get to be so loud? He's good at nothing. He sucks at badminton. Can't even hit a shot properly. I used to think a lot of those thoughts, and you know what I think? I don't give a fuck. And there's a good pro and con to this. The con is that I'm probably being a bit intrusive. I remember I was I was at a badminton place today, and I yelled really loud at my friend. I just called out his name, and I was so loud that everyone fucking heard me. Like, I'm talking about like a whole warehouse, and everyone was looking at me, and then I didn't care. Well, I did care. I kind of thought about it afterwards. But like, in that very moment, I don't care about judgment, you know? This is why it's so important. I don't care about judgment in that very moment. Every single little moment, like every word you're clinging onto that I say right now, that very moment, if you're really listening to it, let's just say you're speaking or you're playing a sport and you're focusing on every little moment. You don't even have time. You don't have the space. Your mental realm does not have the thoughts, the capacity in that split second to have those thoughts, to contemplate. To anticipate the future and reminisce the past. And this is why I think I've been able to sort of just like start talking to random people and be more polarizing. I just say what's on my mind, but I do tone it down a bit to make sure I don't get beat up. But it's going quite well. I'm doing around 20 to 30% of what I actually would want to do, like would imagine myself doing. Like, I get wet, like I get hard. Fuck, I'm not a girl. I get hard at night thinking about this, thinking about how I can talk to everyone and make them feel good. And it's a pretty good feeling. There's a lot of, okay, you might be, okay, at this moment, if you're kind of like a judgmental guy, you might probably see me as like, this fucking guy is like, I don't want to hang out with this guy. He's not cool. He doesn't care about other people's feelings. Well, there's a pendulum that you have to swing when you will go from really introverted and really fucked up passive, and really fucking passive aggressive, and really introverted, and really in your head, and really inhibited, to the other side. You have to swing all the way to the other side. It's like, you can't go from, like a pendulum. Imagine pendulum swinging. You can't go from one side, extreme, to the middle without swaying to the other side. I don't believe in that. It's kind of hard, actually. And, so you act douchey for a while just to give yourself the experiences that make you realize that you don't have to be so fucking inhibited. And then that's when you start, you can start recalibrating and refixing yourself afterwards. And that's when you become a bit more nice. Like a true nice guy that gives value to other people without having to exert, and intrude on other people's personal space. And this is very important. And yeah. So if you watch all like 20 minutes of this video, then I think you deserve to eat a cookie right now and spit it at the monitor, because you just heard me talk a lot of stuff for 20 minutes. I don't think it's all crap. I think some of this stuff is very insightful to myself, maybe a bit to you. It's funny how the mind works. No science here, bro science. And it's funny how the mind works, because when I talk about these like feelings that I have, you see them as, oh, he's experiencing happiness. Okay. You don't feel that happiness yourself. In fact, if you're coming from a low place, you have no idea what you're capable of doing. You have no freaking idea. You can do a lot more than you can. I'm sure I can. Because solely relying on the fact that, hey, other people have never seen me before, I can act any way I want, it's not going to make you act the way you want. It won't. There's bad habits ingrained all over you if you're stuck in a shitty place. So, get to it, no fap. Do the things that you want to do, actualize, bit by bit. Don't put yourself in shitty situations to avoid downtime. Be a bit of a douche, to recalibrate afterwards. And just fucking talk to girls. Don't fucking think about it. Even if you talk to them, you're probably not gonna get them anyway. Yeah, that's a sad truth. But, everything's worth fighting for, right? So that concludes today. I'm going to wash myself up real well, get some good rest, and hide tomorrow, and come back hopefully a better person. Thank you very much. Bye.